Welcome everyone to tonight's Wisdom Dharma Chats. Thank you for joining us. I'm Daniel Aitken, your host tonight, and I'm very happy to have Ani Chöying Drolma joining me. Of course, we had Anila on the podcast in 2018. My, so long ago, and so
Yeah.
wonderful to have you back. Of course, Anila is renowned for her numerous humanitarian efforts, including the education of young girls. Ani performs worldwide singing traditional and modernized Buddhist chants as well as Nepali and Tibetan songs. She has recorded multiple CDs and gained international fame and popularity. Her autobiography, this book here, actually here it is, Singing for Freedom, has been published in 11 languages and is listed as an international bestseller. So quite an amazing resume there. And we're so excited to have you join us. Thank you for making the time and joining us tonight.
Pleasure.
I was thinking that maybe we'd start with, we recently published, I mentioned Tulku Urgyen Rinpoche's biography, his memoir, Blazing Splendor. And we've had a lot of people who knew Rinpoche just reflecting on, something that Rinpoche, their time with Rinpoche and how it affected them and sharing that. And you knew Rinpoche since you were very, very young. And so I was wondering if you could share with us, when you think of Tulku Urgyen Rinpoche, what comes to your mind when you think back to those days?
Well, best refuge that I could ever think of, I have had, or I still have him as my refuge. At the age of 13, or actually before 13 years old, I met him when I was first requested to be accepted as one of his nun in the nunnery. But then around that time, I was around 9 or 10 years old, or 10, 11. I don't even remember exactly. But then when I entered the Nagi Gompa nunnery, I was 13. So the best refuge or best escape that I had from my parents' place. And once I took refuge up there, from then on, it's all very wonderful. For the first time, I was kind of told that I'm just a kid. It's okay to play. And I realized that I'm just a kid. But at home, I was never allowed. I mean, I was never told that I'm a kid and it's okay for me to play. I was always called to do the dishes or to take care of my younger brothers, all the cookings, laundries. You're the daughter, you're supposed to do all the work. So, yeah, being up in Nagi Gompa was the place which I would consider that the heaven that I really got to be in. And the person that I met was just the opposite of what I experience at home. And well, there are many more. Now, when you suddenly, I have to think of what I share with you, because then I'm a little bit lost, because almost 13 to 14 years of my life, I had the most fortunate opportunity to spend lots and lots of time with him, where I can remember mostly, like, I was very pampered by him. I was really treated so special. That's what I like to believe. I thought I was. In fact, I was actually. I can really proudly claim that. Nowadays, when some of the interviews that takes place, and then some of the journalists ask me, how would you like to introduce yourself? And I said, like, I would proudly introduce myself as someone who has the best blessing of my teacher on my head, my heart, my mind. That's the only thing that I can proudly claim of myself, of who I am. A very blessed person by a great teacher.
He seems very present with you today. It seems like the way you're talking, his blessings are still present.
Well, whenever I have to explain of him, because I am not academically well equipped with the right words, but when I had to think of him in many ways, how I would be able to introduce about him to the world. So nowadays people listen to my music and they think that music is something that is so soothing and really gives them a lot of positive energy. I think I said, that's my guru in there.
Wow.
Every smile that I'm able to make that makes an impact in somebody's life or somebody's just immediate mood, maybe that's where my guru is there.
Yeah.
And every kind words that I'm able to speak, every little good deeds that I'm able to be part of or to engage myself in, I think.
I think this is because Rinpoche inspired you to sing, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he was the
Yeah.
one who encouraged you. He overheard you singing, I think, and then
Yes.
Reciting something, and then encouraged you to sing, right?
Yes.
And I'm wondering, I've been asking this other question in these interviews. I'm very interested and curious about what I'm calling the power of presence, right? And so I'm thinking, like, with technology and AI, all the information is at our fingertips. We can ask, you can go to ChatGPT and say, what is Dzogchen? And get these answers.
Yeah.
But it feels like that if you stick just there, then you're missing something,
Yeah.
right? And one of the parallels I've been drawing, because it's really hard to explain what you're missing. And one of the things I've been using as an analogy is live music. So when of course, when you hear music on the radio or through a CD or however, well, I guess we don't use CDs anymore,
Yeah.
but when you hear music through the computer versus going to a performance and hearing it live, there's something different there. There's some power.
True.
And I'm wondering, what do you think how would you explain that? How do you explain what's different between one, listening to music and being there when the performer's performing? And maybe you can talk from the performer's side as well.
Well, I don't know. It's I don't know how I became a musician, but though, I mean, like, it's very clear that I enjoyed singing since very young age. Singing and dancing was something that always made me very happy. And then the songs that I've been singing, I mean, I don't sing tragic love songs, but I sing all spiritual songs, Dharma songs. Well, though some conservative mind is not very comfortable having me a Buddhist nun singing, but I'm very stubborn, so I don't care what people say. I enjoyed singing, but then Rinpoche always really enjoyed listening to different melodies. He taught me more of the traditional melodies in order to perform some of the ritual ceremonies, pujas. He even encouraged me to become umze.
Yes.
To lead the Drupchen, the big puja for 9 days that takes place. So he taught me all the melodies, how to perform them. And then he was often very proud of me being able to perform the melodies in the right way, in a very melodious way as he would have expected. He and his wife used to have I can almost say it, like as both of them had some kind of a competition. And his wife had really beautiful voice, but Rinpoche's voice was very different. I often give this example, like his wife always wanted me to learn the chut melodies. Chut from the Chogying Rinpoche Trangwa. So, for instance, I would give an example. Her voice is very beautiful. Che ma me me ye she je kando mama sharne kom son chen san. That's her voice. Then Rinpoche would in the evening say, what did she teach you today? Sing it to me. And I would sing it exactly as if how she would teach me, right? Then he would say, no, you should sing like that. He would say, you should sing like this. Kandro mama sharana om sum chun. So he would say, you should have some modulation in the voice, you know. You should not sing so plain. So
you had two brilliant trainers.
yes.
Training you.
Yeah.
And you seem to be able to just hear once and then be able to sing.
Yeah, I was a very fast learner.
How did you have that?
Those days, not these days.
You just had this memory that when you hear a tune, you can sing it. Like you can do different impressions by music.
Oh, I'm good imitator,
Yeah.
and I was very eager to learn. So I always enjoyed singing them a lot.
So Rinpoche and his wife, anyone else was teaching you to sing?
No, in Nagi Gompa, only two of them.
Yeah.
Only two of them.
It's so funny that they were having different tunes.
Yes. No, it's basic structure of the melodies are same.
Yep.
The style of singing is different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then did you find your own voice or do you stick to the program type thing?
I don't know how I can differentiate that. I am very strongly influenced by Tulku Urgyen Rinpoche's way of singing.
Yeah.
But then that very powerful, confident, but deep inside.
Yeah.
But of course, that I learned that along with the learning how to meditate and the meditation training that I have had from them.
Yeah, when you sing just then, it's like you move into a different dimension.
Yes.
Yeah, so what is happening there for you?
It's a very automatic shift, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is this come naturally to you, how you can just move?
I think it just happens. Well, the right state of mind where I'm supposed to be while I sing these melodies.
And what is that state of mind?
Well, maybe very essentially free from the fear and hope and fear, as we say.
Yeah. Okay.
And somewhere deep confidence seems to take place where to be in yourself. And of course, they are the source of that whole thing, and to be in that nature or natural state, as you would say.
So did Rinpoche teach you this? Was Rinpoche saying when you sing and, connecting it with confidence?
See, I was never taught in a way that is classically done.
Yep.
But it's very casually it's been done. As the learning from him would have been just more like a casual conversation and casual that a father-daughter would be together or a teacher-student would be more of like a very casual manner.
Casual and intimate, it sounds like.
Very intimate, yes.
Very beautiful.
And Tulku Urgyen Rinpoche used to call me Ame. Ame means darling, my dear, or something like that. Ame.
So touching.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he would call to all. But I would always like to say the thing that it's me only at the darling.
Well, one thing is this whole idea of confidence, right? I think you embody a certain confidence and it hasn't always been that case. I remember we were talking earlier, talking about how that home was very difficult. We spoke about that in the last podcast. And that often when you were at home and you were struggling with these difficulties with your father, you would go hide in dark, scary places.
Right.
Such that even when you went to this paradise that was Nagi Gompa, that actually being in a room by yourself in the dark brought up a lot of fear.
That's very true. I mean, well, those days I didn't realize that it was a childhood trauma that has making me feel like that. But these days, as I become more intelligent, I understood about what is trauma, post-trauma, and then how it functions. So I realized this is from my childhood trauma of hiding in places, very dark and scary places. Even though the place, no matter how scary the place itself was, but the fear of being beaten up by my dad coming from the back and like dragging me from my hair would that imagination was much scarier. So, and that episode is not like only once in a blue moon, it's almost like every next day or every day. So that I think kind of really got infused in my body cells. So my body cells carries that memory, it seems. Though my conscious mind is very clear that I have nothing to be afraid of, even though I'm in the dark, I'm in a safe place and so on, but somehow you don't seem to have the control over it. So I start to have fast heartbeat, and then imaginations of different things can be there. And so I used to feel so scared and very sweaty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were very creative. You mentioned, can you tell a story about candles? Like, because you're in the dark and it's very fearful for you.
Right.
So you had this creative way of finding light in that darkness. You would go and
Yeah. Those childhood time. I was very creative, I think.
Yeah.
In Bodha, you know, Bodha Stupa, right? On special occasions, people offer candle lights, right?
Yeah.
So occasionally, on very special occasions, many people offers candle lights around. So, okay, after the next day, I would go there to collect those leftover wax candle. I collect them, and then I look for those thrown away cough syrup bottles, the brown bottles. I used to collect them in different sizes. So, and then I also used to, like, in where my parents stays, the girls, they weave carpets. So when they weave carpets, there are some like white strings.
Yeah.
So I would ask them to give me some. So I used to bring them up in Nagi Gompa, and then I used to, like, little further from the monastery. So I would burn some wood fire. I would melt the wax in a tin, the milk powder tin, and then wash the bottles and put the strings in the middle. And then when the wax is melted, I put them in the bottle and keep them overnight. And the next day I would break the glass. So then I would have a lot of candles.
So creative. How old were you when you were doing this?
Probably 13, 14, 15.
14.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So those days we didn't have electricity up in Nagi Gompa. So in the night in my room, so I would use those candles to have the light. And then because I would really I was scared. I'm scared to go to sleep in the dark myself. So I would have the candle light on. And then I would ask a senior nun to come and check on me later on if I have fallen asleep, and if the candle is still on, please put it off.
Yeah.
So that's how I would go to sleep.
It's incredible because this darkness, triggered you from when you were hiding from your father.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so there's this part of you that, found this refuge, right? Nagi Gompa, Rinpoche.
The best refuge.
You found the best refuge. And then still there was this, you brought this trauma with you. But there's also a part of you that's already very confident, because I know, Rinpoche was very kampa,
I'm very blunt.
Very blunt, very forward,
I didn't know how to use those formalities and those very classy way of approaching Rinpoche and speaking those very polite and sophisticated way of communication. I have no idea of those things, so I would just bring his tea in the cup. Here, Rinpoche tea. And whereas the other nuns, they would carry it in such a way that and they would walk so slowly and very softly. They would put it down on the table, and then he would be like, don't do that. No formality.
So Rinpoche appreciated your directness.
Kind of was fun. I felt that's how I kind of believed that he was fond of me. Yeah.
Well, then he saw who you were. But partly, what's interesting is your singing is so melodious and beautiful, right? It's like walking in like this,
Well, when I did the singing, I was capable of doing that, actually. I was easy I could learn the melody, memorize the melody faster than the others, and more melodiously than the others.
So creative, sharp.
I was very fast learner.
Yeah. Fast learner.
Yeah.
And so
Street smart.
street smart. There you
Yes,
go.
yeah.
There you go. Street smart, and you needed to be, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
I think the whole experience made me like that.
Yeah. And so what I'm very fascinated with is, there's this trauma, there's this fear, but there's also this confidence, this directness, right? And like where you are today, I don't see any fear. Like, I don't think it seems like you're not worried about you don't seem to be worried much. And I'm wondering how you went from, needing candles, right? And creative to be this place. You seem very confident, very sure of yourself. And
it's not that I don't have fears.
Yeah.
I do come across fears, but then immediately when I think on it, I would say, what's the point?
Yeah.
So that helps a lot.
Yeah.
That helps a lot. I do feel sometimes anxiety.
Yeah.
Anxious about things, but then I just come and say, what's the point?
Yeah.
And then I am fine. So I'm very carefree. I have to do what I have to do, but then what's the point crying about it? That's there, what it is there. So if you want to deal with it, you find a way to have a solution for it. If there's no solution, well, there's no solution. So what's the point? That's how my attitude is mostly.
Like Kiwala says, And this is very interesting. So it's not that you don't have these fears, it's that you bring them straight into your practice.
That's how I feel so much of help and find progress, I would say. Maybe I would like to believe that I'm able to bring more progress and progress in my practice. Actually being able to use those odd, unacceptable or unpleasant feelings that I go through, or disappointment that I get to face certain things, then I make those as my base for my practice.
This is really key, I think.
Yeah.
Because normally the impulse is to avoid. You have fear. You want to avoid. You have some sort of avoidance is often the reaction to these things, rather than bringing them into your practice. And, over the conversations, I've had a few conversations with people who've seemed very free, like yourself. When I say you don't have, or you feel confident, you feel very free. And I found that with a couple of other people, like Mingyur Rinpoche. Interesting thing is just occurring to me now. Mingyur Rinpoche had panic attacks. And Tulku Urgyen Rinpoche told him to make friends with them.
Yeah.
So it seems there's a from your story.
We're from the same school.
Yeah, the same school. And there's a trick here, or not a trick. You bring this into your practice.
Yeah.
So this is something. So the key to freedom is taking what you fear and bring it into your practice.
You see, before COVID, I had a really very unpleasant experience, I should say. I run a dialysis center, free dialysis center, dedicating all the merit to my mother, who died from kidney failure. So, and then I worked with someone, a medical personality with whom I collaborated that project. And the experiences came to a point of realizing that a lot of misuse of the fund that I've been putting into it has been done by this unfortunate being. And when I addressed that issues, and I kind of was trying to be very strong on it and saying that please bring the money back, otherwise I'm not going to tolerate it.
Yeah.
So somehow there was a clash. So the other person that I accused of doing wrongdoing, so this person became very defensive, and he kind of attacked on me as well. So that experience really hit me so strongly, because the misuse of the fund, and then above that, the attitude that he had was unacceptable.
Yeah.
So I was really, really having very hard time to deal with it emotionally and somehow in every aspect. So for almost 1 year, I was trying to like deal with it in a very hard way.
Yeah.
And those days I was going through really, really hard. Like I was very angry and very uncomfortable. But then around the same time, there's an online practice called Triple Excellence by Choying Rinpoche on Tara practice. So for Nepali language listeners, I'm the one who gives voice to it.
Yeah.
So I do the recording. So in between, I had to fulfill the job.
Yes, yes. While you're having this.
Yeah, while I was going through these episodes of anger and hatred, and real ego has been really challenged. And then the first excellence has been done. So it was coming to second excellence, was mostly about how to practice compassion. So the intensity of the anger and unacceptable, like the rejection, what do you call it? I was really refusing to take that, that not nice way of doing things of this man. It was very intensive, to the point that at times I wasn't able to sleep also. And at times, whenever this comes in my mind, I get like very tensed. And as I would do the recording on second excellence, and when you record the teachings, I have to enact that teaching in its meaning, right? Through the voice, with the feeling and everything.
It's like when you sing.
Yeah. And I literally applied all the visualization as it is being explained in how to do it. And I literally applied that person as the base with whom I'm so angry. But during the time when I'm recording this, the practice of compassion, the technique of the visualizational technique of how it is being explained in the teaching, the practice, I was literally applying and recording it. The intensity was so strong, but then at the same time, the application of that method was also intensively. I did it. And I really, 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 to the most effective way, it worked on me.
Wow.
And to a point today, when I have to think of this person, I'm not angry. On the contrary, I swear I'm able to feel so much compassion, and I'm able to really pray for him to do well.
Wow.
So I'm so grateful for that experience, because of the intensity of the anger at that time was so intensive that I really enjoyed the application of that technique of practice in compassion. And I think I did it so intensively that the impact came to me in such a way that was so, so wonderful. So wonderful. So as I got healed from that, that episode, nowadays, I don't know if I'm able to enjoy the intensity of my practice in compassion that much as I did those days. So yeah, sometimes.
Well, there's another little secret teaching emerging. It's not just about taking this difficulty, fear, anger into your practice directly. It seems to be that the intensity of the fear or anger is what makes the intensity of the practice needed. So it's not just anything. Yeah.
That's what I meant, like nowadays the intensity of my anger or disappointment in life is almost like very shallow.
Yeah.
So sometimes my practice of compassion sometimes seems to be very shallow too. So I seem to look for that very wonderful, immediate, strong impact. But of course, then I don't wish for that anger to be there. But somehow, I miss that intensity.
It's funny you're saying you miss this intensity because of it lights up your practice.
Yeah.
But in Lojong, it says something like this. It says like the difficult people are like the wish-fulfilling jewels.
True,
right?
very true. I mean, thank God. I mean, nowadays I don't have those kind of a very people who gives me that kind of a intense adverse experiences.
Yeah.
But my menopausal experience itself is becoming the base for
That's
my
your new practice.
That's my base support system for my practice, really.
And your support, the support of your practice. The administration lam kia that we call it.
Well, the classical language, I don't know. See, I'm not academically studied in the Buddhist philosophy, but of course, what I learned from Tulku Urgyen Rinpoche is in his refuge. I mean, so.
Well, there's another story you tell that I think is in the same area, and it's going to Disneyland.
Oh, yeah.
And roller coasters. Can you tell us that story?
Oh,
It's similar to what
this was very, very long ago. A friend of mine, she was the chief editor of Cosmopolitan magazine in Paris. So she invited me to visit Disneyland, and that was like my first ever experience into a amusement park. And then she said, "Oh, the others are fine, but make sure you don't go there. There's one place called Space Shuttle. Don't go for that. That's terrible. You will not like the experience." So as I am who I am, I always am eager to go for something that I'm told not to do. Yeah. So I went there, and that reminded me of a story once Tulku Urgyen Rinpoche told me of his retreat in Tsurpo. Just outside his retreat place, there was a Dhatura tree. And if I remember correctly, I somewhere hear him saying that he did try the Dhatura. He ate, he tested Dhatura in order to see his practice and so on. So that inspired me to go for the space shuttle, the scary one. I did go for it, and because I gave myself an excuse thinking that, sitting on a nice comfortable cushion and smelling the very wonderful incense and looking at a statue or a tanka of a Buddha, who looks so serene and enlightened, of course anyone can be very calm and clear. But the real place where you really should be able to apply your mind to be calm and clear is where there is adverse situation. So I wanted to test myself where I stand in my practice. So I went for it.
My gosh.
So
anything but the space shuttle, and of course you go on the space shuttle.
It's the preconceived fear is quite more uncomfortable than the actual experience.
So you were meditating on this roller coaster ride?
Yeah, I did apply all the moment to look into it. And then the moment I'm able to apply that, then I'm kind of relaxed and I'm clear about where I'm moving and how this whole dome is arranged and so on. But then, of course, the physical, the positioning is causing the difficulty occasionally. But then, of course, once you lose the continuity of that state of mind, then again, that fear comes back. And then suddenly again, again, and then, repeat.
And I think I like this example because it's talking about the two things we were talking about. Don't do that. This is bringing into practice. Also quite an intense.
Yeah.
It's like roller coasters are intense. So needing that intensity with your practice.
Well, I'm a little bit stubborn person. I'm more into the adverse, challenging. The more challenging it is, it kind of gives me kind of kick. Yeah. Excitement.
So it seems like, if I'm listening to you, I'm thinking, okay, if I want to progress in this practice, actually, I shouldn't be trying to avoid and make my life so easy. I should be taking these challenges to my capacity on.
But it seems like what you try to avoid is something the most support system that it can become. That's what my realization is at this age and stage of life.
And you say support for your practice, is that what you mean?
Yeah. The support system. So the base actually on which you can step on. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the stuff I need to work with.
Then come closer to that. Instead of going far away from it. But there's no such thing as going far from. The more far you want to go away from it, the closer you are into it.
This is true, right? This is true. It owns you almost.
It's Rinpoche.
It's correcting you.
As Sonja Rinpoche always says, say hello to them.
Big hand.
Yeah, you're a beautiful monster.
Exactly right. So how would you advise someone? Someone's listening to this, they're at home, they're listening to this talk, and they're thinking, yeah, that sounds right. What's like the first step to this, bringing these things I would normally avoid into my practice? How would one go about that?
I think when you are really able to understand what is it that really makes you feel very bothered and disturbed, and I think that very thing is actually something that can be the support system for you to really get into practice, to work on it. Instead of you trying to resist it, try to be more clear and upfront to it, and then see who that is exactly.
Okay.
So that's what I did, Not that I'm in a position to teach anyone to do what they should do, but what I did is what I learned from my teachers. I mean, from Tulku Urgyen Rinpoche to Mingyur Rinpoche, Sonja Rinpoche, and Choying Rinpoche, they always taught these teachings.
Say there's someone who makes us angry, right? And, we could see them coming and then we cross the street, or something like that. Instead, so what do we do? So we've now got this support. There's a person who upsets us or something we fear. What do we do then?
Okay. I don't know exactly. I'm not trying to teach anything, but I always just say things based on my experiences. So last year, the year before, normally these days, every year, I do a street people service, rescue service. 2 years ago, the first day we went on the rescue mission, we rescued a very little innocent 4-year-old girl who we found that she was sold by her father for 200 rupees.
Wow.
So we were all kind of shocked. How can a father sell his daughter for 200 rupees? Everybody was like, that evil man, that, must be punished. He must be, reported to police and so on. All these different judgments came up. But for me, immediately came to a point of question. Of course, it did make me feel immediately how cruel this father is. But then secondly, my question was what could be the reason, so strong, helpless reason this man could have in order to sell his own, daughter? And I asked around, and because of the addiction to drugs or alcohol he had. And then, of course, there's a story behind that, the alcohol, the drugs that he took help. And it's the family, broken family, lack of love in the family. That was the reason. So he is a victim of his own, world. I mean, it's not something that he enjoyed doing it. So then I was able to feel so sorry for this man. I felt so sorry. But then we couldn't find him. But instead of being angry and judgmental towards this person or thinking of punishing this man, he became more of a subject of my compassion, So I'm really glad that we could rescue that little girl. Today she's so beautiful and going to school.
Wow.
But so we seem to have this very automatic way of functioning, of immediately judging someone to a point to be someone to be very cruel and not good and, criminal, and then that this person should be punished. So we seem to really enjoy doing that. But I think on the contrary, we should be, what the best thing is to do is find a way, what could be the reason that this person is ended up behaving in that way, or in this way of life, or some people are addicted in using foul words, like really unpleasant speeches, cursing, scolding, or, like criticizing, all the negativity that they are in. What could be the reason behind it? What could have made him get into such habit of behavior?
This is a great example. It shows that your curiosity or this analysis transformed you. The analysis of this transformed you from like some reaction like anger to a type of compassion. So it seems like that was a great answer to my question. It's like once we decide that we're going to not run away from these things we react to, but bring them into our practice, what do we do? And it seems like once you've got the support, what do? We analyze that. And that analysis of that seems to transform us, such that we can go from being angry or having a reaction to having compassion. That's practice.
Again, I mean, of course, I'm able to do that because my teacher trained me with this method. Because I remember, I mean, as through the book, many people knows that I had a very difficult father to deal with, He was a very aggressive man, very violent man. And he's the sole reason why I actually chose to become a nun, And when I was up in Nagi Gompa, my teacher somehow realized that I hated my father so badly. So he somehow helped me into finding the right way of seeing into it. So that's how I learned is like, I remember my teacher one day said that, Choying, come, sit down. Let's talk. So imagine you just see someone on the street and is really in misery, and would you help? I said, of course. As a nun, I'm supposed to help, right? And he said, yeah. He said, even though you don't know him? I said, yeah, I should help, right? Even though if he's not your relative or anything. I said, yeah, I would help. Then he said, then don't you think your father deserves your help first? That made me think, because before that, we already had a conversation, very casual, our conversation one day, thinking like, do you really think that your father enjoyed beating you up? And I said, I did kind of try to recall the incidents, and I never saw him happy doing that. I said, no. And then there was another incident. I remember him coming to a conversation like, do you remember anything good that he did for you? So that made me think of the good thing that he did. Then I remember he worked really hard. He worked really hard in order to make sure that we had enough food to eat. So I said, he worked hard to give us food. So he kind of helped me to get into that way of thinking. So that came to a point of thinking that, as in English they say, charity begins at home. So if it is truly your desire to practice compassion, or you believe that compassion is the ultimate practice that you should engage yourself into, then I think the first one who deserves your compassion and understanding is your own parent. Or the closest one. And that's where you should begin with, and then or oneself first. So that's how I tried, and I think I am progressing.
Yes. What a skillful teacher as well.
Yeah, my teacher. Yes.
Yeah, and and then this can change. This is mind training in action. This can change even the whole way you see your life. We've been talking about this book and how you might, things you might want to change, or how you might want to tell the rest of the story. And you can tell that in some ways, your practice can rewrite the whole way you think about your life.
Exactly. It's I mean, thanks to my teacher. I mean, I'm so grateful to him. And I'm able to really see the whole experiencing. I rethink or rewrite the whole story of my life. You know, there was a time when I used to feel like my father was the worst person on earth, and I hated him. I was so angry with him. But today I'm at a stage of life where I'm so grateful to him, as equally grateful to him as I'm equally grateful to my teacher.
Yeah.
Without that scenario, I mean, having said that, I don't mean to promote any of the domestic violence or the violence that I got to understand that he went through childhood trauma. He was abused as I was abused by him. He is the victim of the abuse that he experienced, and through his trauma, we got abused. So he was suffering too. So he became a subject of my compassion. But at the same time, that experience itself became the source of inspiration for me to choose to become a nun.
Yes.
And to take refuge, and then ended up being in Nagi Gompa, where I met my teacher.
Yeah.
So the real savior of my life, who was my guru. So if my father wouldn't have had this problem, probably I would not help me to choose to become a nun. Because if my father wouldn't have been the example of a man that I felt like the worst creature on earth, I wouldn't think of becoming a nun, and then think that having not to get married in life is the best thing to do.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't realize that.
Yeah. It's quite incredible, and it's in some ways shocking you can even think like that.
Exactly.
But this is freedom. I feel like that's freedom.
Yeah, that's why the title is given Singing for Freedom. So some people might think this is talking about some political freedom. Not at all. It is a freedom that I'm talking from, to be free, to free myself from the anger that I carried for so long, and that burned me down so much. And because I was burned, I end up burning others.
Yeah.
So I wanted to free myself from that. And I wanted to free myself from the frustration, the confusion, and all these things that I was really a victim of.
Yeah, a victim. And free, it seems like that when we are pushing things away and not bringing them into our practice, this creates some sort of like invisible subconscious forces that keep us,
Actually, that is the resistance to it is actually giving more continuity to the unpleasant experience that you went through. Actually,
yeah, the way
you're keeping it alive.
It sustains it. Your resistance gives it life.
Yeah.
And I'm so reminded of this conversation, reminding of the conversation we had with Nagi Rinpoche about his panic attacks. It's like there's so much wisdom here in this tradition. And we've talked a lot about being in the world, going on roller coasters, facing what's in front of us. But I also know retreat is a big part of your life.
Well, lately.
Lately.
Yeah. Earlier, I was so distracted. I was so curious, full of curiosity about the world, the colorful world, and the big cities, and the big shopping malls, and nice shoes, and all these things, as any youngsters would be. But now, thanks to the maturity, as I'm growing older and wiser, so. As Rumi, I read one line of Rumi says, before I was clever, I wanted to change the world.
Yeah.
But now I'm wiser, I want to change myself. So I'm into that completely. And I'm very comfortably in it. And occasionally whenever I get opportunity, I get to go up to the mountain and be in the nature, and really, really realizing that the best luxury that you can really experience in this 21st century is to be in nature.
Yeah.
And be able to breathe pure air, and be able to drink pure water,
Yeah.
and the pure energy that you get to experience in the nature up, and especially somewhere in very holy places.
Connecting the elements,
Yeah, and it really, really helps a lot.
And so what's your plan? Are you going to spend a little bit of time up in retreat?
Well, I'm planning very smartly, like I'll give myself a little bit of time. Like every year, I'll try to increase the numbers of days that I will get to spend more up in the mountain, and then give a little time to this part of the world, and then increase more days up there and decrease more. So
A soft sort of, that's a nice plan. Tell us a little bit about up in the mountain. What does that mean?
Well, I guess this is the maturity. I really enjoy being alone these days. I really get up in the mountain, really. It seems like my realization is such that up in the mountain, nothing seems to be feeding my ego. In the cities, in the very hustle and bustle of the city world, it's too many people doing too many things. There's so many who feeds your ego. Some with compliments, some with criticisms, some with expectations, some with support. There's a lot of things that really feeds your ego. So there's no chance for ego to really
hold on to anything.
Yeah. So when up in the mountain, my ego becomes lonely. And then nothing seems to feed. There's no source of feeding for the ego. And then more chances to really kind of analyze the ego more, and then be focused inside instead of focus outside. So that decreases the strength of the ego more, the chances of decreasing the ego more and more. And then, of course, all the teachings from my teachers, I'm able to listen to them. I mean, thanks to technology.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Though I don't have internet up there.
Yes.
I download into my YouTube, channel. So I frequently get to listen to their teachings and contemplate on it. And then, so I think.
And you have an amazing retreat house. We have a photo of it. I think we're going to share it online. Anila's retreat house is amazing. Can you tell us a little bit? Like, this is special land as well.
Yes, I was told that this is a place where Guru Rinpoche gave teaching to 100,000 Dakinis.
Wow.
So looks like I'm kind of reliving the past episodes of Guru Rinpoche time.
It looks like, when you see the image, it looks like you're going back in time.
Exactly.
Guru Rinpoche's time.
Yeah. It's a very, very auspiciously holy place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have this special place.
Yeah. Chögyam Rinpoche even told his students that 1 month of retreat up there is equivalent of 3 years retreat somewhere else.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's nice.
Nice.
When can I come? When can I come and do 1 month?
Well,
3-year retreat done.
You need to be qualified for that.
Yes. Then maybe next lifetime.
Some blessings from Dakinis,
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. This is coming to the end of our time conversing. We're going to have a little bit of a break, 5 minutes, and then we'll come back with some audience questions. So if you have questions here and online, and then I will ask Anila those questions, and then we're hoping that Anila might sing something for us. So we'll see. Yeah. Now we can rest. quite a few hundred people.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's good.
Great.
Okay, welcome back, everyone. We're going to go into the audience Q&A, so you can ask Anila your questions. You just go to the Q&A panel at the bottom of your screen and send a question. I'll get it here and I'll ask the question. But we're going to start with our in-person questions, and we have our first question here. Thank you.
Anila, you spoke very movingly about the relationship with your father. I'm interested in hearing what was the relationship with your mother like?
My mother was my best friend. Yeah, with whom I can share everything. She was really like, we were like if I would have a girlfriend, she was my girlfriend. And of course, as a mother, her love is there, but at the same time, she was as a friend, as a buddy there. We can laugh and giggle about things. I can share with her my innermost secrets with her, you know. Yeah. But, the later part of my relationship with my dad ended up become so beautiful, where actually I remember just the day before he left his body, he took my hand and he put it on his forehead and said, "I'm a very lucky man. I have a daughter like you who became my mother." So my father is very conservative and very shy about saying thank you and saying sorry. So somewhere down the line, it's very much in the culture as well. Man has difficulty saying sorry and thank you. But then he did say it from his gesture. So yeah, after he left, he passed away. I really missed him as my child a lot. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, we have another question here.
Hi.
Hi.
I was wondering, you spoke a little bit about fear is stored in your body. And I was thinking in Buddhist teachings, I've not found much about that talks about, trauma that we store in our body. And I wondered, what do you think about how we can bring that into our practice?
Well, these are the imprints that we will have in our life from our past experiences or past karma, whatever you call it. So in nowadays modern language, we call it trauma. So yeah, that itself has become the base of my practice. My biggest support system to bring progress in my practice has been those experiences. So I've been quite feeling good about that experience. And then in order to really instead of it's something to be running away from, it became the actually source of my strength.
Anila, the audience is asking where they can get your book. And they're asking, will Wisdom reprint it? But right now, where can they get this? Where could they get this anyway?
Where can?
But online audience? On the website. Okay, we'll put the website in the chat. If you go to that website, then you can get the book from there.
Yes.
Yeah. And then will Wisdom reprint it? Well, we would love to, and we're talking about what we might be able to do in the future.
This new, the version 2.0.
Version 2.0, yeah. That would be our pleasure, of course. Singing for Freedom 2.0.
Yeah.
No, we would be honored to do such a thing. So we're working on it. And then people are asking also about What's the latest with your singing and music, if you could give us an update?
Initially, as I started, I mean, like, first I enjoyed singing, but then with the help of this American musician called Steve Tibbetts, I mean, to whom I'm so grateful. He showed me this way. And for fun, I did it.
Yeah.
For a lot of experiences, sake of traveling, I did it. And then later it became the source of funding for the projects that I've been really wanting to do, which was to promote educational opportunities for girls and wherever it is needed in different area. Nowadays, my realization is such that my spiritual songs has been really, really helpful in many people around the world in their life, when whoever is going through certain unpleasant episode of life, let's say. And especially like some of the youngsters that I came across in Nepal, really young people, really young people, late teenage or early 20s or mid 20s, they're going through this very most popular disease called depression.
Yes.
You know, many came to me saying that you saved my life. And that is the most fulfilling feeling I have ever come across. And many people around the world who are very well-to-do economically, you know, like with wealth and everything, they felt like, they said, because of your music, it helped us to turn our mind into Dharma.
Yeah.
And there has been many also who came to me said, because of your music, I became Buddhist. And some who are very serious Hindu became Buddhist, serious Christian who became Buddhist, who they just express those of their experiences. Not that I'm very fond of or proud of saying that, oh, I'm into conversion. Not at all. None of those are my purpose at all. But then that, what I translate that into is like, okay, they found a better sense of self in when they came across the music.
Yeah.
So, which I believe that my music has helped them to lead towards a proper practice of meditation or proper understanding of maybe compassion. So I deeply rejoice. It has sort of become my deep rejoicement. And as nowadays the world is really, there are more poverty of, as I always talk about this, actually nowadays the most fashionable topic is the climate crisis, right? I always say that it's not just the climate crisis as you would see externally with the elements disasters. It's spiritual crisis that is the cause of this external crisis, climate crisis that we experience. So lack of humanity, lack of love, lack of compassion. That's why we experience these things. I mean, and through music, it's very easy and comfortable way of, entering, or what do you call it? It's an appetizer for them to get to develop more interest into what is it that is there more profound to enter into it. So I feel like the best practice of generosity or practice of compassion that I'm able to do is maybe the best way is to create more and more beautiful music. So I'm into it. Yes, I'm coming up with many new musical things, though I'm really bad at promoting them or publicizing them or, publishing them on the internet. I'm trying to get myself into that as much as possible. But of course, I'm trying to take experts' help and help from my friends.
And we will help as well.
Thank you so much.
And I think that
I really do need help.
The website, they can find out more about new music, and we'll put that on the chat. Yeah. And I think people are very, very interested in your music, and I think it has done, like what I'm seeing here is it's really impacted people incredibly. And there's a question is, what is it about your music that is so powerful? Like people are saying it changed their life, and there's some chat saying what they changed their life, but they don't understand what happened to them. So why is it that do you think that this goes on, this phenomena?
Well, I don't think I can take the credit really, because as let's say in China, the most popularly enjoyed music is the Avalokiteshvara mantra, the long dharani. Yes. They call it the best baby delivery music. They call it the best divorce music.
The music for everything.
Yeah. And best music during the grief of losing loved ones.
Yeah.
So only explanation that I can think of is like maybe power of the mantra itself is so powerful because it invokes compassion within us. Once this compassion is cultivated, the stiffness and then the rigidity and then the judgment and the very conservative, constrained way of mind, narrow mind gets kind of like relaxed. So when you relax, you feel so good. And that's where you feel so free and comfortable. So that is the impact of the blessing of Avalokiteshvara. So yeah, I just happen to be the excuse of taking the credit, but I myself is also blessed by it.
Your singing and chanting mantra is the perfect combination.
Yeah, I think it maybe is. I use another example. Like I'm a good transistor.
Transistor, yeah.
With a good tuner.
Conductor, yeah.
With a good tuner.
Yeah.
You know, the antenna is very good. It catches the frequencies, and then they deliver it.
I like that. That's a great analogy.
I'm a good medium.
Was there another question here? Yes, please.
Yes.
Anila Tesile. So I have listened to you a lot of time. I mean, this question is very personal to me. I don't know.
It's okay.
So when I heard about your story, I felt like it was mine. And I'm still going through it. I think here's the reason I walked into this spiritual path, meditation and all that.
Yeah.
I just don't know how to deal with him now. He's still doing, his own thing, drinking and all that.
Yeah.
I had a very difficult argument with him yesterday. And I do have this compassion towards him, which was possible just only because I started meditating and listening to your story as well. And, time to time, he goes into this mode where he drinks for many days. And I just tried everything, whatever is in my capacity. And I feel like I sometimes have this guilt that I'm not being enough help to him. And I know we live in America. He lives in New Jersey right now. And we have a lot of other helps that we can get him. But until and unless he's willing to go for it, we can't do anything. So there's like this helplessness that I feel a lot of time. And today when you said, because yesterday I was very angry with him, but today when you said like charity starts from your house, I should develop that compassion towards him, which is very true. And I felt that here. And I just want your guidance, like how to deal with him now when I feel this helpless.
Yeah, I can totally understand. It's not easy, really, but it's not impossible. It takes time.
It's impossible.
It takes time. I mean, my transformation, my realization, and my ability to, really transform. And it was an effort that I made one at a time. not like one effort and then transformed all. It took long time, really long time. Up until now, like just this January, I felt like suddenly I felt like I'm free from the childhood trauma. I'm not scared of dark anymore. I spent 2 weeks of my life up in such an isolated place, all alone by myself. There's no electricity. And I was so comfortable. I was able to go to the toilet myself in the night. I was able to look out of the window in the dark. Even when some animals were coming, I was able to look into it with a torch. So that sense of freedom that I felt, this is coming after a few decades of real intensive practice, and really like sincerely, the intensive, the pain it is, the intensity your practice you can apply intensively. So as I shared earlier, my story is that some of the experiences that was very intensively painful, the more I was able to apply the teachings or practice of compassion in it. And it really helped me a lot. And I started enjoying it. Actually, to be honest, as I said, even though I said it jokingly, it is true that I did sometimes miss that intensive impact of that practice of compassion in my life, because the intensity of the anger is lost for me. You know, that disappointment is lost. It became very shallow now. So, but then of course, I don't mean to say that I want that intensive pain and anger to be back in my life. But somehow I think it's up to you how sincerely, intensively you want to really be in that, reconciled or pacify that agony within you feeling. And I don't think there's any good use of feeling guilty, because you have to be compassionate, but you should know the practicality, apply in a very practical manner also, without burning yourself. If you burn yourself, then it will bring the wrong impact in your life. Then you'll become more sour too. At the end of the day, no one to be blamed. That's what I feel, really. Everyone is victim of their own limited capacity of understanding, limited capacity of being kind. That's all. And as Buddha says, we all carry the Buddha nature. We all have the potential to achieve enlightenment. We all have that most beautiful strength within us, that is our innate quality, is compassion. So I think believing in it and try to engage oneself more into that in an honest and sincere way. You can show off to people to be kind, but if you are not deep inside sincerely, then it's just fooling yourself. You know, you just want to put it as a poster on your face. That's a sad thing, unfortunate thing. So if you really sincerely love yourself, then I think the best way is to be sincere in practice of compassion that you do apply in your day-to-day life, whether that be your neighbor, your friends, your families, or whoever you come across, whatever subject you are about to. Maybe if you find a way to engage oneself from that perspective, very kindness, compassionate way of dealing with it, it's not that hard. Okay, I mean, at this age and stage of my life, I'm feeling that. And I think you're young. Yeah, so please don't lose hope. It's tough, but no pain, no gain. But then, of course, taking him as your real subject of your compassion. Maybe he's the blessing in disguise in your life. Sometimes some bodhisattva comes in your life in the hard way. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
We would love to hear a song.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Oh, there was one more question, which was just about You got any concerts coming up in the US
Yes.
or anything like that?
In US, no. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
I have a concert on the August 1st in Taiwan.
Okay. Oh.
6th and 7th in Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. And in October somewhere in China, which we don't know the venue yet. November is a very special event that is taking place in Nepal.
Okay.
So anybody who hasn't been to Nepal or who has been already to Nepal and never been able to see my concert, then it's an opportunity to come. So
An invitation to Nepal.
Invitation to Nepal. Yes, definitely. Please come and visit Nepal. The event is taking place on the full moon, November 5th, in a very beautiful heritage place.
That sounds magical.
It is. It is going to be. It is going to be, definitely. That's what I'm very much working on it. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna step away so you can do your.
Oh, okay.
Do your thing.
I don't know what to sing now. Yusum sanje guru rembo chengru kanda dewa chenbu sha Hare che kusedendo trayambu sa so so chenje lamdo so Chena sawe parche shiva tang samba lanje drobar chinje lo Urgyen Rinpoche la suwanda Ngaljen parche minjungshin tunjen samban rupadan chodan tumung drupzadu so chela dojin so wadabet daso kana nebi sacho so nede urpon tapzo shiwadan chodan trashi pelvarim zedo so chanchu sencho rinpoche maje panam jejurji jeba nyambanya 공내 공도 별거래쇼 언니들이 모델에 센들이 님을 공들이시 인생 따도 들이 봐 control 숨지 드라시쇼 Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anila, for
My
blessing
pleasure.
with your stories and your singing.
My pleasure, and thank you, really,
And thank you.
for inviting me to this beautiful place.
You're always welcome here.
Thank you.
And thank you everyone for coming online and in person. Ladies and gentlemen, Ani Chöying Drolma. Thank you.